I'm Tracy Osborne, and you're listening to the Daring Woman podcast. Imagine the story of a generation being altered by women who were empowered to live their truth and in turn can empower others to live theirs. It's time to rewrite the narrative. Hey, all right, welcome back to the show. You know, most of you know that I have 4 kids. I've got 4 girls. The older 2 are 27 and 24, and then the younger 2 are 16 and 14, almost 15. And for the 2 younger ones, they've got, the 14-year-old has pretty much one thing on her mind, and that is getting her driver's license as soon as she turns 15, or her learner's permit anyway. The 16-year-old is, my special needs child, so she's wanting to get her permit, but she's kind of scared. She's scared to turn the car, she says. But, they're spending the summertime with friends and hanging out, going to the lake and doing all that kind of stuff. Well, my guest today, who is also 16, is doing something completely different that pretty much most all 16-year-olds won't be doing. And it's incredible. So, Haley, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, Haley Taylor Schlitz is, like I said, she's 16. But, Haley, tell us what you're doing this summer.
I am preparing to go to law school in the fall.
That's right. You heard her. This girl is going to law school in the fall. 16 years old, going to law school in the fall. I am just beyond impressed. So, I've got to find out, because I know you just graduated from Texas Women's University, right?
Yes, I did.
And then you also got, I'm looking at your news reports here, so you also got an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree in May.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
In what fields?
Interdisciplinary studies and education.
Oh my goodness, that makes my head swim. and God, I'm thinking back to when I was 16 and my mind was just on boys. I didn't care about school. When did you graduate from high school?
When did I do high school?
Yes.
When I was 12. When I was 12. I had started homeschooling after 5th grade. And so that's when I got to really excel. And I graduated at 13.
Oh my goodness. So did you start homeschooling just because public schooling couldn't keep up?
It was more of it was twofold. The reason why I left public school was, one, they wouldn't let me into the gifted and talented program. They said I wasn't allowed to test because I hadn't been there since kindergarten. I was born in California. And so I went to school until 1st grade in California. And when we moved here, I was in 2nd grade. And so obviously I wasn't even here to take the test in kindergarten. But they said I wasn't allowed to unless I was here in kindergarten. And then also the STAR tests. My mom didn't like the way the school was structured to only teach students for the STAR test. And after the STAR test was over, school was basically over. She felt like it wasn't a productive way of learning. So those two combined helped motivate my parents to homeschool me.
That is amazing. So, I think that's absolutely crazy that they wouldn't let you test for the gifted and talented program just because you hadn't been there since kindergarten. That has got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
I know. It wasn't nice. Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was little, 100 years ago, I was in the gifted and talented program, and it was fun. We got to go do cool stuff and take extra classes and things like that. But, I know nowadays it's completely different. And it's a lot more curriculum based, I think. I studied birds and, silly stuff like that back in the day. But, what is it like going to college at 13? Did you do it online or did you actually go to college?
I went to an actual building. Like at first, when I graduated high school, I was 13, and so my mom had me go to the local community college for the first year. And so that's where I was. It wasn't that bad. A lot of people didn't. I mean, they noticed I was young, but they didn't really say anything or didn't care. But it wasn't. There was no really negative feedback. It was when they found out how old I was, it was a different, kind of vibe. They were surprised and had a lot of questions, but it was never bad. It was always really fun, and they were surprised. And I've always been happy to talk about it. It's been good. And then after a year at my local community college, I transferred over to Texas Women's University, and I was there for 2 years. And I just like at the community college, nobody really noticed I was younger, or maybe they did but didn't say anything or figured I was like 18 or something like that.
Right.
And then when they found out or asked how old I was, they had questions, and it's always been really fun. It's always been really positive when somebody finds out that I'm younger. I've never had a negative experience when it comes to, my peers at the university finding out how old I was.
That's good. I conjure up, and this is like way before your time, but I conjure up images from the movie Real Genius. I don't know if you've seen that. And of course, all of you listening, I'm sure you all know who Doogie Howser is. So those are the things, in my mind, these incredibly smart kids who have to face growing up before they're grown up, And Doogie Howser, of course, it's a TV show, but he practiced medicine. He was a doctor, and so I can imagine you might be facing kind of the same thing as you start law school and start interning, and all of that, and people are gonna maybe look at you and think, you're not even 18, you can't even vote, and you want to try my case,
Yeah.
So I bet there's, I don't think they're going to be hard about it, but I bet there's going to be some skepticism. Have you thought about that? Have you talked about that with your parents? How you would handle that if that comes up?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody's judged me just based on my age. And if they wouldn't want me working, interning with them or working on their case or whatever, then it's just not right for me, like I get it, I get that it might be weird to have somebody, like you said, who can't even vote yet be working, interning or whatever, it doesn't, I'm a kid to them at least. And I get that, but I would probably just try to go and find another way of achieving that goal, whatever goal I had,
Yeah. Well, I think any law firm that accepts you is going to be lucky.
Thank you.
It's going to be their benefit for sure.
Thank
so
you.
Now you're doing a 6-day program with the American Civil Liberties Union this summer, correct? What is that all about?
Yes. It's where I'm basically going to fly out to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to be they have two sections, one where there's, I think it was 17 or 18, like some older group, and then they had the younger group, which I think was like 15 and 16. I'm not 100% sure, but I know there was like a younger and an older group. And so I'm going to be in the younger group with kids that are going to be my age, which is going to be pretty cool, because I could have also been in the older group since I've, been through college and all of that good stuff.
Sure.
But I think it'll be a fun experience to be with kids my own age, especially kids who are here at the camp, which means, they are passionate about this. So it'll be exciting. I'm really excited. I don't know what to expect. I've never done it before, but I'm really excited.
That is going to be, I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to have a great time.
I hope so.
I think you will, especially, being able to be around kids your own age.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have trouble being around kids your own age just because you're freaking smart? Or, do kids your own age, do they care?
No, not usually. There's always been, there's always exceptions, but
Sure.
Usually when I meet somebody who's my age and they, hear about my story, they're usually just really impressed and then ask for help with their homework, which I don't mind. I love math is my favorite subject, so if they ever need help with math, I'm 100% there.
Right.
It's usually really positive reactions, though.
That's cool. Do they offer to pay you to write their papers and stuff for them?
No, I would help them, but
I'm
they
just
would have to do it.
Yeah, of course. I'm just kidding. Because that's something that I would have probably totally done in high school. Like, hey, I'll give you $20 if you write this paper for me. Not that I could have done it myself, but just because I was lazy and
I love that.
I was just boy crazy. That was it. Wow. So what branch of law are you actually wanting to go into?
I used to be pretty certain on what branches, like I used to be like really interested in contracts or educational policy, but every single time I go up to SMU and take like this mock class, like they'll have like demo classes of their actual class. And one time I went up there and took a constitutional law class, and I totally love that now. And another time when I went up there and I heard all about their intellectual property class, and I totally want to explore that now. And so I'm interested in like 4 or 5 different kinds of law. So I don't have it limited down anymore.
Something tells me you will have no trouble exploring all of those, and probably more as well, and then making a decision. I mean, you've got plenty of time to figure out which branch you want to go into, and it's not uncommon for lawyers to start out in one area and switch. So yeah, definitely. Wow. So what do you do for fun?
I do a lot of things when I have free time. I like to play video games with my siblings and friends. I like to read and write and draw and sleep. That's always fun. Yeah, those are the things I usually do, and watch Netflix with my sister. I do that a lot.
There you go. So typical teenager stuff. That's awesome. That's about what my kids do too.
It's super fun.
Yeah. What is the representation project?
It's something I joined. Oh, I don't even remember when I joined that. It's been so long. It feels like it's been my entire life, honestly. But it's basically a project where they are working to change the way women are portrayed in media, and which I totally love. Empowering women. I'm 100% proud to be a woman, and so finding a way to help change the way they're portrayed in media is huge, because sometimes they're portrayed poorly. And so that's basically what they work on. There was the Global Youth Advisory Council, which was like a panel for like the younger generation to be on. And so that's what I was on. And we would have like, discussions and meetups, and just basically thinking of ways that we can help make the woman image better.
I love that. We need it. And I've been seeing a lot in media lately. Dove has done a thing, and Getty Images has done a thing. There's been a few big companies that have done stuff with portraying women naturally, as opposed to airbrushed and photoshopped and all of that, and displaying people of all shapes, sizes, everything, as opposed to just those perfect models. And I love it. I think it is about time that women stood up and said, we're done being stereotyped and idealized and photoshopped. These creating these images of women for girls and other women to look up to and try to attain and become, and their ideals that are fake and are impossible to reach, and it's all just so they can sell their stuff. So I am loving the fact that we're making that change now, and letting people know, and letting these companies know that we're done with that. So that's cool that you're a part of that. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yes.
One last question as I'm looking at your bio, and I want to know about is this hashtag. It's hashtag Black Girl Magic. What is that all about?
God, it has so many meanings. I mean, it means what it sounds like, Black girls being their best selves and being a fantastic image for the next generation, and
Right.
being, doing whatever they set their mind out to. It can mean so many things. I guess my greatest, I don't know, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the person who best represents Black girl magic to me in my life would probably be my mom. Everything she does is just like a beacon of light that I want to follow. And she's like the dream, I guess, everything that she has, great, my siblings are great, or the house, or my dad, or, just everything about her. She's winning, and it's that she's super smart. Everything about her is just Black girl magic. And it's it can have a whole bunch of totally different meanings depending on the situation. But all of them are super empowering, and I want to be just like my mom. And so to me, she's Black girl magic.
You've just made every woman listening to this go, oh, because we all hope that one day our kids kind of feel the same way. That is so cool. Haley, it has been so great to talk to you. I look forward to continuing to watch your adventure into law school, and I wish you the best. I have no doubt in my mind that whatever you decide you're going to do, you're going to make it happen.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, we'll talk to you next week on the show. Thanks for listening.